All right, Big Sean. So tell me about your decision to have Sean transfer from St. Francis Prep to Christ the King.
It was a tough one. I wasn't sure where we would end up. I knew that Bruce wanted him to play, but I didn't figure out how it was going to pan out.
Mm-hmm.
It was further away from the house. He would have to take public transportation because he was getting a ride to and from St. Francis Prep.
Lucky him.
So the town, with my tax dollar, provided transportation for him to go to and fro. It didn't cost me a thing.
Okay.
So I had to think about that. But
Yeah.
if it was going to be a better program, it may be something I should look into and maybe something that I should really consider.
Okay. So let's backtrack a little bit. Tell me about Sean's first experience playing football.
Year one, he was good. He wasn't a predator. He was good athletically, and he played on both sides of the ball. He was always taller than other kids.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, he played running back. But he didn't really touch the ball that much. He was like a fullback. He was blocking a lot.
Yeah.
He was blocking a lot. And then he was a decoy a lot.
Which naturally happens in youth football when you're the
Yeah.
biggest person on the field.
But his first touchdown, then they started really thinking about putting the ball in his hands and being a decoy because we had a good two-back, and Sean was the three, so they would fake it to him and then counter with Sean on the other side, and it worked beautifully.
Okay.
But year two, the kid moved up because he was a year older than Sean, and then Sean was at the helm. Sean was running the two. So him being at youth football, I think it was 8'7", he was like taller than most kids. He ended up being like Eric Dickerson at the position. So we get him out on the edge.
That's a good comparison.
And he was like really fast. And like, there's other coaches who call him Marcus Allen because he could change direction on a dime. And he could plant and pivot, and he would be gone. He would explode out of that. So you never knew who Marcus Allen was, but I knew.
Yeah, we know the older guys. The older guys
older
know.
Backs. And he wasn't the fastest guy, but Sean had great speed. Sean was faster than most kids all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But Marcus Allen could change direction and then reverse the field a lot. He would reverse
Yeah,
the
that's
field
something
a
that
lot.
separated
And
him from a
belly
lot of
out
running
and get
backs at
upfield,
the
getting
time.
all
Yep.
up again. That's hard to do. That's
Very,
hard to do.
very.
You gotta have great field vision for that. You have to have great field vision for that.
No doubt. So let's talk about the first time he's trained with Coach KJ and Playmakers Academy.
Well, I really enjoyed the program that he had. When I got there and I saw what he was doing, what KJ was doing, I was impressed because he had kids from 8 to 18 there.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff that he was teaching them about their body movement and how to open up their hips and how to use better footwork and how to plant their foot and change directions and stuff like that. Just the technique. It was a technique thing for me because, at that position, technique is everything. At the skill position, technique is everything.
Absolutely.
So I was really impressed with that. I said, wow. I said, this is a guy we should be working with one-on-one. Definitely we should be working with him one-on-one.
All right, guys. So this is Coach Al, and we just finished interviewing Big Sean, a.k.a. Sean Wilson Sr. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
No problem, man.
I'm better than you.
Imagine. Sound good.
But yeah, you see this, looking at the first rep. Let's see, take an outside release on the dig. You beat him on the outside, beat him with speed at the top. Right?
Yeah.
Good job getting over the top of him. Now, what I notice is you start to drift, right? We on the 30-yard line, that's where you break. You end up catching that ball at maybe the 33-yard line. Right there. Right, this kid's actually a pretty good athlete, so I'm shocked he didn't undercut it, but, I would expect him to make a play on the football, but you beat him so bad with speed at the top, he wasn't able to, but that's just a good job by you, making a play on the ball. But those are the little things you could just pay attention to, just making sure you come back downhill and don't drift away from the football.
I should have swiped instead of going around him, I should have played through and swiped through his hands instead of going around, because he could just easily undercut it, and that could be a pick.
Right.
Like right there, I should have just broke
Trying to
down.
sit right here.
Yeah, broke down and got him around me, and then kept going down to 25.
Right.
Instead of going up.
What you did wasn't wrong.
Yeah,
you beat him
but
with speed. But I get what you're saying.
9 times out of 10, it's not gonna work all the time.
Right.
Back up. Hands.
This next rep. Up. He's patient. Clearly he doesn't want to put his hands on you, so all right, you make that decision, go. Only thing I don't like here, your pad level could be lower, you know. You're standing straight up, you're taller than him. Get your pads down, play with your pads down. Now your pads are down because you're starting to run down the field. Good, good, good. Right there. There's no reason to touch him. No reason to touch him. You touch him, extend. Now he plays through your hands, right?
I gave
His
away, I
hand.
was going for the ball.
Right. You know what I mean?
Me touching, me basically bracing for the ball.
Yep. So now if you don't put your hand on him, he doesn't know the ball coming. You know what I mean?
He's not doing turning his head around.
Exactly.
He's just going off when I put my hands up.
Yep. So right there, keep your hands off the DB. So now you just late hand the football. They'll never know.
Own your space. Oh, good patience. Good patience. Go! Go! Go up! Go up!
Right here. Good job with your hands. I still think you could be a little bit lower with your pads initially. Good job. Diamond release. Good job being physical, throwing them by. Right, you could do. What do you think about that catch?
Try to double catch, first catch it once.
Right.
Get off my palms.
But that was excellent, being physical. Now, the only thing I would say, you see how you're running wide away from him?
Go through his outside shoulder.
Right, go through his outside shoulder, still going up the field. So now you get his hips to flip and open. And you would want him to get in this position a little bit more sooner than what he did. And now, good job with your hands. Now, the only thing there, I'm gonna tell you, that's tough. You don't want to be in a fully extended position with your arms wide open.
You want to try to club it.
Right, club them by, throw them by. So now you have a little bit more control of yourself.
Like I slipped right there.
Right, you catch the ball a little bit cleaner. Now you could give me a harder burst at the finish. Burst up the field 5 yards, get used to scoring touchdowns after catching, intermediate routes.
Hey, come on, Sean.
Hands. There you go. Oh, that is a good ass route. That's it.
Now this is a good rep because you're going against somebody who's talented, plays big for his size. Right there, you missed. But good job with your second reaction. But now look at all that space.
You just closed it down.
Right, close it down, get closer to him. DBs like space. They like when we widen out because now it puts them in a position where they can read and react, opposed to if you're right on top of him, now he is in a position where
uncomfortable.
Right, he's uncomfortable. He don't know what's going to happen. But now you ran a comeback here. Look how much room you gave yourself from the sideline. Maybe 2 yards from the sideline. That ain't enough room for the quarterback to even put the ball. Now, if you play down the numbers, right? You stay on that blue line. Once you beat them, stack, get back on top. Now you give the quarterback an opportunity and space on the sideline to put the ball. And now, right, keep your shoulders forward, then sink your hips and run out of your break. No reason to peek back. Run down the field. So, I think that rep was terrible.
Me too.
Over there. Hey, watch out. Touchdown. There you go.
What do you think about this one?
I feel like that I did good getting his hands off me.
Right.
Selling the ball and snapping down.
Right.
I should not let him get his hand and slow me down. Should have just, got out there faster. Cause I had to come back and dive for the ball.
Good job making a play.
Yeah.
I think if you would have been just a tad bit lower, it would have been easy for you to,
Ball.
right? No, to drive out of your break. You know what I mean? Like you had an extra step because of arm action, right? Your arm stop, believe it or not, which now,
My right one.
right, you get stuck. But at the end of the day, Right? I'm not gonna chew you out because you made a play on the football, right? You know, like at the end of the day, ball comes your way, you find a way to make a play, and that's what you did. Good job knocking down at the top, snapping down, running out of your break, catching the football. It's a good play. Just gotta work a little bit at the top of the route.
Oh, big time.
That's it. Good. Stop it. Come back. Spot.
Coach me through this one.
It should be lower, so then that he can't really get his hands out faster, and I could just, get my hands up faster so I could counterfeit that.
Now, the only thing I say I want you to work on and pay attention to it. In press coverage, get your hands up. Just because if his hands are up before yours, his hands are going to get up first if yours are lower. Get your hands up. And so now, in that case where he made contact with your chest, you're there sooner to react to that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think about the finish?
I should have stacked more. I'm still like, why? He could have closed it down.
Yeah. But I honestly think, this finish is great. Like, you do a good job of adjusting to the ball. Nobody's going to call that because all you're doing is playing the ball. But that's a good job. Catching the football with your hands, your eyes, your nose, your chin, everything's on it. That's a big-time play. That is what you need to do being your size. That's playing big.
Be physical. Use your head. Yeah. Use your head. Punch him in the chest. Run! On his head!
What you should have did differently here.
Turn my shoulders, let him undercut the route.
Right.
But I played defense on that, so you just couldn't play the ball.
Get your shoulders. Get your shoulders. Get your shoulders on top of there. Don't allow them that angle. Just look and see. Good job. Just running through, being physical. Now that's just you being big. Playing above the rim. And that's a really good job, late hands, right? He gets his eyes back, but then he loses track of where you are, which allows you to just play the ball. Now, I'm going to tell you this much. At the higher levels, right? At the higher levels, you snatch and turn away. Because you snatching and coming straight down,
Put his hands through.
a guy who, understands technique and keeps pressing technique, they're going to play through that.
Yeah.
So you come down and jump down naturally, you'll fall right into the hand of the defender and he'll punch the ball out. So get used to catching,
And
turning, catch, snatch, turn away. So you should be turning over your left shoulder, so now it gives him your back once you catch the ball in the air. Last rep. Good job. Stance. Must come out running, not a skip. Come out running, threaten him sooner. Too much space. Get to his toes. You know what I mean? Don't start widening out. Because right there, all he got to do, close you down and then push you off. But now you did a good job just adjusting to the football, getting his hands off of you. Good job. Now that's exactly what I was talking about in the last video. Catching, either keep it above your head and turn away, or you know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what I was talking about. But that's a damn good rep, man. That's playing all of 6'5". You're a nice guy too, because you shake his hand. It's a good job. But as far as, from a technique standpoint, what do you think you need to improve on? Just as far as from what we've seen on these clips, what would be some of the things you wanna improve on?
Getting by, like coming by people on the dig route, so I'm not stuck at the top of the route. Comebacks, not getting stuck at the top of the routes either. And slants and bangs, attacking the leverage and just getting to the spot and getting them toes, making them react more instead of be able to play through the ball and make a play.
Not bad. Now, for me and what I think, first thing first, stance, right?
Yeah.
Work on that stance. Work on sinking your hips in your stance. So now you explode off. You explode out of your stance. That's one. Mm-hmm. 2, your angles, right? Once you get off the ball and take those first 2 steps, right? Closing that space between you and the DB, not widening out, getting your shoulders back on top of his, right? 3, now when you get to the top of any route, if it being a comeback, you sinking your hips and running your arms at the top, right? If it's a dig or a bang or a slant, flattening your shoulders and getting your shoulders more parallel back to the quarterback. And then lastly, the finish, making sure you finish each play. If the ball's being thrown to you, it's in your catch radius, finding a way to come down with it. So if that's in the goal line and it's a fade, snatching the ball, turning away. If it's a curl and you're fighting through contact and it hits your hands, just finding a way to make the play on the football if it's in your catch radius. You agree?
Yeah.
Cool.
Came through dripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Flow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us, red run when I tell a peace. Love is love. Love is love.